Everybody, welcome back to your second adventure session of Classic Traveler. Shipley, what happened last time?
Well, a lot happened last time. We spent 2 days on Startown Liberty. Let me double check this. I think it was Jason who won 250 credits gambling and almost got in a fight, but they managed to defuse it and no one was harmed, fortunately. We spoke with Anders Kasari, who gave us our contract. We are looking for the scout courier ship that crashed and is in a state of disrepair. We just need to fix it up and bring it back. So once we got the information and parts that we would need to repair the ship, we got on our transport, which did not start out in the best of notes, as turns out the first mate had been smuggling drugs and was busted by the Space Marines, which put a bit of a downer on the journey. But we managed to smooth things over with the captain, and had a fairly uneventful layover in a dusty spaceport where we were harassed into listening to a long research presentation, but managed to escape with our sanity. And after that harrowing encounter, we entered our final jump and just arrived on Walston, which is the planet where the ship is located.
All right. Cool. Yeah, so that's where we are currently. You've landed on Walston. You've entered the atmosphere, landed at the rugged and dusty starport here. This is just another random dust ball. The crew of the Autumn Gold says goodbye to you, and you gather all of your equipment, including you have some large hard cases of the electronics and control panels and repair equipment needed to repair the detached service vessel. So they claim they're going to be here for a couple of hours. And for having been a traveler for 5 years, that they're on a charter, so they're basically slacking. They're snowbirding a little bit. But otherwise, they don't even intend to stay overnight here. The atmosphere is thin. You look outside, you can see that there's these rolling things of dust, probably cold, frigid cold outside, and you probably need a respirator to breathe, if not a vac suit, at least a respirator. And most of the buildings you notice are at least about half underground, and they don't tower very high in the city of Walston City. So, you also notice as you exit the Autumn Gold and you get your belongings, that the halls of the Starport Customs area are very empty, except there's a Varger janitor. And you thought you saw a customs official at customs, but then they left. And now you're left here, on the near side of security, and the person that should check your documents for customs has stepped away. At least there's nobody there. The area beyond it is a secure area. It looks like it's locked. But yeah, what do you do? So hand it over to Shipley. You'll notice, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this early on, but I'll always kind of interface with the crew captain. And the reason I've learned to love to do that... I'm sorry, there's some kind of screeching noise. Is to get a group decision first, what's the group doing? And I've learned to really prefer that, rather than just I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. What's the group going to do? And then from there, So, Shipley, what do you all do?
Okay, do we want to wait, or do we want to try and get someone's attention?
We talk to the
Or do we just want to walk on through? That's probably a good idea.
were we given clearance to walk through?
There's nobody here.
No.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the agent. I'm sorry. The agent who was supposed to give us clearance has gone on an extended lunch break, apparently.
Okay.
So maybe
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe talk to the Vargar janitor if we're not scared of Vargars.
I don't think so. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
All right.
We would like to ask him about the customs procedures here.
Okay. When you go up to him, he has a typical work one piece deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
And a name tag, and it just looks like a row of consonants that don't go together, like K, son, so just blah 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 blah, Kasan blah 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 blah. And he says, "Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Did I get in your way?"
No, not at all. We just wanted to know if about the customs procedures here, because we noticed there wasn't anyone at the desk. Do you think we should wait, or should we ask someone about checking us in, or is that not really a priority here? I just don't want to be in violation of any codes, right off the bat after landing.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm really sorry about this. Let me see what I can do. He puts down his equipment he's using to buff the floors, and he goes and he scans his badge and goes through the secure area on the other side, and you hear someone grumbling, and then they get up, they slam something, and they're like, "I told you not to bother me. During lunch breaks, we have established breaks." Blah 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 blah. And he's just biting his head off, and then, but in response, the Vargar's just like, "Oh yeah, yes sir. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm really sorry. I won't do it again. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah." And then the Vargar comes out, goes back through security, scans his badge, and then somebody comes out real lazily and sits behind. If you've ever gone through any customs thing anywhere in the world, it's always the same. Like a freaking lemonade stand, and you go up and you explain your purpose to someone, right? And it's exactly the same. And so somebody comes up, and he's got the stock Imperium uniform with the Imperial Sunburst symbol, because he's at an Imperial starport, and but it's of a very older kind, it's 20 years ago model, kind of like Imperial uniform. And he sits down and he's like, "Oh, hello, welcome to Walston. You trading something? What brings you in?" He's a human, and you see that he's got really dark skin, but then and very short for a human, but then speckles of what look like almost a starry violet of freckles and of violet eyes.
Is that something that we can make some kind of deduction roll about where he's from?
You probably never no, but you don't have to roll. He's definitely from here. Now, Volani humans, they're some of them, just as an easy example, some of them have gills. So humans have changed a lot. They come in all shapes and sizes.
I read a short story that was about that. It's kind of cool.
All right, Shipley, what do you do?
All right, I'll let him know that we're just here to repair, or I guess salvage a downed craft, and all I've got with us are parts to fix it.
He's ignoring you, and he just was waiting for you to hand your identification. Now, I mean, he's not super obviously rude or something and ignoring you. You can just tell that he's kind of tuned out and he doesn't actually care. He pretends
Well,
to
that's
write
fair.
something down.
It's a soul-sucking job, so we'll just pass him our papers, get it over with as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he looks at the identification. He's like, "What? Hey, wait a second. This says that you work for the Imperial Scout Service."
We do.
Oh, wait a second. I've heard about you all. You're the crew of the High and Dry?
Are we? I don't think so.
No, we're not the crew in the High and Dry.
I don't know. It
We're
says
the crew of the Lady of Mercia.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and we're contracting with the Scout Services to retrieve one of their vessels.
he scans through your
If I got
documents.
that right.
He looks. He's like, I don't know. It says that you work for Scout Services and you're here as the crew of the High and Dry on a retrieval.
If the High and Dry is a ship we're here to salvage, then yes.
Is
Keyword retrieval.
S001642-C. Is that the High and Dry?
He looks at it. Yeah, that's right. High and Dry. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah,
And we're the High and Dry crew, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you can't be here. You have to leave.
I'm sorry?
The crew of the High and Dry, it has a settlement alert out for you. It says that you broke like 15 different laws.
Oh yes, the previous crew did. We've been asked to recover the ship after it was abandoned by that crew, and we've been hired. We can show you the contract, and that was dated just 2 weeks ago. You need to see that.
He takes it and looks at it, and he likes, yeah, but like this says that you're the crew of the High and Dry, and unfortunately, this here bars you from entry. And then he like, does anybody have admin?
So it's good question.
Does anybody have admin 1?
Okay, so clearly, I don't, but clearly this guy's fishing for a bribe. Is that what's happening here?
You don't get that impression. He's
Really?
just a desk functionary that is being told.
So what you're saying is, if anyone was hired to come retrieve this ship, they wouldn't be able to land because the previous crew has convictions, and you're applying those convictions to anyone who holds the position of crew of this ship. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, sorry, ma'am. No, I'm not saying that.
Which, by the way, that crew is already in custody.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to worry about them.
That's great. But, it says you're barred from entry. In the system... he points
Captain
to his
Shipley?
computer.
Captain Shipley?
Yes.
Do you mind if I take a go at it?
Oh, please. By all means.
I'm sorry, sir. What was your name?
You look down at his... he's got a name tag too, of course. He says... oh, I have the wrong thing on here. Hold on just a second. Now I'm having internet problems. What's happening now? Uh-oh. Anyways, he has his name tag, and you can see it. It says Silas.
Silas. Okay. If you can find me a list of the names of the people who are not supposed to be here, I'd like that right now. And I'd like you to compare the names of the people that are being, barred, and the names on our IDs, and then help me understand why we are being barred.
He rubs his temple. He's like, oh. I'm not really trained for that. The system says that you're...
Do you have a computer?
Yeah. He points.
What is
and
the
you can
computer
see
saying? Who is the computer saying is barred?
The crew.
Just the crew of the High and Dry?
Yes.
You don't have...
And your paperwork says that you're the crew of the High and Dry.
Correct. We're here to retrieve this ship. right?
Yes. Hello.
Retrieval. Big word.
Hello. The comms, then like somebody answers finally after like 10 seconds. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want, Silas? Oh, hey. Could we get some security further in, past the security zone at the starport? And they're like, "Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, everything's okay." And could you get Supervisor Hay? And they're like, "What is wrong, Silas? What?" And Silas looks at you all, and he looks back at his computer. He's like, I'm having trouble with my computer system again." And then you hear an exasperated sigh, and then he's like, "Okay, my supervisor's on the way.
Good, because I'd like to speak to him.
It'll take about an hour."
Right? Him?
Yeah,
Okay.
Supervisor he, yeah.
Yeah, we can wait. Is there a place we can sit down and actually wait this out?
He looks past you in like the barren starport that is like designed probably to have seating, like it's like an arrival area, and there is none, and there's just a Vargar that's cleaning. And then he looks at his seat and he looks back at you and he's like, "No."
Okay. All right.
And let's see, 1 hour passes. And I'm gonna make a check. Alright, that check went interestingly. 2, 5.
I turn to the rest of the crew and kind of, quietly tell them, "Hey, look, anytime you want to jump in, please. We're working with a bureaucrat here, and we've just got to talk his language. Unfortunately, I have very little of that."
Eventually some guards show up after. It doesn't take an hour, as it turns out. It takes about 40 minutes.
Okay.
But it's been about an hour since your arrival. And they show up, and they... two of them are Vargar. And they have like flak vests and assault rifles. Starport security. And then there's a young human man. He comes over and he's like, "Silas, what's going on?" And he's like, "They said that they were sent here by the scout services, but then they're..." Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to interrupt, and then I realized it would probably be better to let him finish speaking.
See, 2 Vargar guards. But like they're the crew of the High and Dry, but they're not the ones that were barred, but the system has them as like tied in the system to that crew manifest, because it's already approved them as the crew, and but they're barred from the system, so it won't let me pass them through customs. Does anybody have computers? One.
Good question.
No.
All right. Yeah, they look at it, and all this is doing is it's taking time. Painful. But you notice something. One thing is that they don't look at the Vargar. The Vargar just like follow and then wait like perfect soldiers. And the other Vargar that's doing the janitorial stuff won't look over at what's going on. And the customs people, they keep trying to ask you questions, and they kind of keep going in loops. You get the sense that like they probably work lots of jobs, and none of those jobs occupy a lot of space or time or effort. And
I do have a quick out of character question. What's the law level here?
If you ask them that,
I'm not asking them. I'm just
Like, was it
I
on
just want to
the
make
map or
sure that the
something?
revolver that's on my side in the cloth armor that I'm wearing is not going to be a problem.
I think, was that mentioned in the job? I can't remember. Like the law level and the information and stuff. Otherwise, I don't know that you would know. Like you would need to ask
Okay.
somebody or something.
Okay. Okay.
I
I'm
can't.
gonna
And
keep that to myself.
I can't remember if it was mentioned, but if it was, somebody let me know. But anyways, it takes a long time. That's basically what happens. So 2 hours pass, and so it's now getting close to early afternoon, local time. And they look at it and they're like, "So we've removed you from the system, and we're gonna clock your arrival as tourists. You'll have to work that out with the scout service."
Okay. Okay.
The problem
Sounds like a plan.
all right. So you all they bring you through, and they have like a scanner for stuff. They find that you have armor and weapons, and they're like, "I'm sorry, everyone, but if you have any armor or weapons, you'll have to leave it here in our lockers."
Even a revolver?
Oh yeah, we don't allow any weapons here on Walston.
Understood.
What about this little dagger I have? I use it to pick my teeth.
Let's see here.
Cleans his fingernails.
They look at it, and this takes even more time. Eventually, because they're not sure, because one person just reflexively is like, "No, absolutely not." Like that's like the reflexive answer is just no. But then they look at it, and then you're like, if you press it, like, "Hey, show me, like, where does it say I can't have my own like a dagger?" Eventually, they look through their own regulations, and they find you can in fact have a blade, but nothing bigger than a dagger.
And I have to remove my cloth armor.
Yes. Now.
And I'd like an official receipt for both the revolver and the cloth armor, if I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it gets used much, but they actually have forms specifically for this and a locker.
Right.
And they give you its security information, and you would get it on departure. The other thing is, just not to bury the lead on this, this atmosphere, you can't breathe it. So you either need a the breather, a respirator, or you need a vac suit. You need something to be able to breathe out here.
Right.
So,
I'm hoping past security, they probably have a vendor selling those sorts of things.
And you can bring your vac suits, is my point. They'll let you take those there.
Okay, we'll bring those.
All right.
And I'll remove both my revolver and my cloth armor.
All right. They have you sign
Can you wear cloth armor and a vac suit at the same time, or is the cloth armor too bulky?
I don't think so. I think you got to pick. I think you got to pick what you're wearing.
Okay.
I think a vac suit is actually considered cloth armor.
Yeah,
it's just that it's got the helmet and the breathing apparatus and so forth and so on.
I have.
Makes sense.
So, for example, if you were firing a rifle at someone in cloth armor, it's at a -3. Actually, I think you're right. I think I just treated it as cloth. Anyways, let's see here. So you pass through security, and
My God. Thought I would die here.
I've got gray hairs.
They ask you, all kinds of questions about what your purpose of visit is and your length of stay and everything. All these people except the Vargar guards. The Vargar guards have just like a vacant, stare kind of going on. Everyone else that you see has a really bored expression. You get the impression that life is real slow here. And after you pass through security, they check your remaining stuff. Is anybody trying to get anything through security? That like weapons, explosive devices, or armor, or anything like that?
No, but I hand over my sword. Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm sorry. I have a pocket knife and a multi-tool. That's it.
All right. What'd you say?
When I
Dave?
hand over my sword, I just look with like imperious disapproval at them.
They take it just and don't even seem to notice. They just take it as if they don't even notice your expression. Let's see here.
Can you drop any names to change that? I forget your name. I'm sorry. Jason? Is it Jason?
No, I don't try to throw my weight around.
Okay.
Oh, right.
It's not important yet.
You pass out of the Imperial Starport. Near the Port Authority, these buildings are half sunk into the ground, kind of like bunkers because of the temperature and because of the poor atmosphere. Most of the buildings are connected as well, so that you don't even have to go out into the atmosphere.
Right.
You find that the Port Authority here is a combination salon, travel agent, and aircraft repair center, as well as Port Authority. And other than that, you see some people there, and not many people are out today. This place is real slow and lazy.
Okay, well,
There is a hotel
we
here,
get-
a travel hotel.
okay. We'll probably want to go there. And in the contract, did we get a precise location, like coordinates, or did we get a general location, like it's in this area?
They know that it came here to do something on Walston, and then they know it didn't leave Walston. So
Okay.
it
so
is
there's
somewhere on the
planet.
planet.
Very precise. Okay. Well, in that case, how does hotel and trying to find some sort of land transportation sound?
Getting either some rebreathers would probably be on the agenda too.
Oh,
Don't we have our vac suits? Don't we have our
yeah,
vac
we
suit
brought
in the
those.
ship?
Yes.
Did we
Yes,
actually-
I believe we were able to bring our vac suits, so we shouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Things can go wrong. We should probably have backup options.
That's also, yeah, probably good, yeah.
I have a feeling this planet is going to try and kill us, even if its population isn't.
The very atmosphere.
Yeah,
Actually,
there's probably a
really-
reason there aren't. Yeah. So hotel rebreathers, backup rebreathers, and land transport.
Okay. When you take, I can't remember what those are called. The cities have them too. Tubes between buildings. I can't remember what that is. It's called, but you're able to take that a pedway or whatever and take it an enclosed one into the hotel complex, which is halfway underground, anyways, and to the reception, and you hear like a dingy, kind of annoying elevator lobby music. It
boy.
smells a little bit like a mix between mold and something that's trying to cover it up, like an astringent smell. And then there's a person that is behind the check-in counter, and they are looking. They're like playing a game on like a personal device.
Okay. I'm gonna crack my knuckles because I need some mental fortitude for this next battle of bureaucracy. And then I guess we need to book a couple rooms.
All right, you plan to
Okay.
stay near the starport for the. Well, okay, so you go up and you ask for a couple rooms.
Yeah.
At first, the person is not paying attention, and then they're like, "Oh, wow, hello, welcome to the Walston Starport Hotel."
We'll leave the light on.
Exactly. Yeah. It includes planetary breakfast in the morning.
Right.
How long will you be staying with us? It's a young human. It's a human woman, but
As little as possible.
She also has. She's also short, and very dark skin, and has like the lines and places of a violet complexion and violet veins and eyes.
Okay. Cool.
What's the nightly rate?
20 credits per person per room per night.
So just book for the week.
Yeah, we don't know how long we're gonna be here. I think a week sounds like pretty reasonable place to start, and then we'll renew if we need to.
She looks surprised, and she says, "You're going to stay at the starport for a week? Oh, are you starport authority inspectors?"
We aren't. We're here on business. Would you recommend a different place for a long-term stay?
Oh, is your business at the starport?
It isn't.
Oh. Oh, well, it's none of my business. What brings you all the way out to Walston?
Well, we're looking to recover a ship that was left that was damaged and left on the planet, but we're not sure where it is, so we'll need to look and find it.
Oh.
I'm really not familiar with this area, so it's kind of awkward to ask, but would you mind telling me where we might be able to stay that isn't near the hotel, isn't near the starport? Because I think it would be difficult getting in and out. You know, we'll be wandering around quite a bit.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The starport's kind of in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you. If you wanted to try to do anything related to off-world business, planetary business, you probably need to speak to the planetary dictator's office at the Capitol. And
the dictator has his own office, huh?
Yeah. And she's enthusiastic about it, like, yeah, his own office and his own manor. It's in Central Lake City. What's
the name of the dictator?
Oh, Dictator Masterton.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, his family has ruled here on Walston ever since our people migrated here 100 years ago.
Always sounds like a man of some importance.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate all the help. I mean, I'm new here. I really don't know much about it. So, what is there some kind of transport between the starport and Central Lake City?
Yeah, there's a train. The train leaves once a day. Unfortunately, it's already left for the day, though, so only makes its way out here once.
That's okay. So, go ahead.
So it looks like we're here for the night.
Yeah, so just one night for us then.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's 20 credits each, and she gets you the room info. And then she looks a little bit, like, suspicious for a moment. She's like, you know, the last time a crew stayed here, they really wrecked the room.
Yeah, we've heard. But
okay.
We'll leave the place in good condition.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, because I'm also the hotel cleaner.
No, we definitely won't make your job too hard.
That's very kind of you.
Well,
I'll throw in a free meal voucher since you're so nice.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate all the help.
What were we gonna say, Dave?
Dave?
Oh, I was just
Or
going to
Marcel?
say that's really kind of you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's the diner.
I wanted to ask something. It seems like a lot of you folks here seem to multitask.
Oh, really?
Is Is that something that's normal on this planet? Yeah, it seems like you have more than one job. Is that right?
She says, "Oh, well, I guess I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I have some responsibilities for the hotel. I answer to the hotel manager. I'm the hotel maid, and I do the check-ins. Do well, and the bookings and some of the laundry. Yeah, I guess I have a lot of responsibilities."
I try
Keep
to
you
notice.
busy?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, does it keep you busy?
Yeah, we have like maybe a crew of visitors that comes through here, maybe 2 a day. Sometimes. Sometimes it gets a little slower and it's only a crew every week or so. But yeah, sometimes we have 2 crews a day that stay overnight here. She looks proud.
Is there any kind of public terminal that one can access for general information?
We don't really have that here in this hotel. You could probably do that in Central Lake City, though. I think they have a public access like communications type place for the planetary intranet.
You have a planetary map, maybe?
She looks around and she's like, not really. What are you looking for?
Don't know until I see it.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. But this all sounds like stuff that you probably have to talk to the central government about.
Quick question: does the Scout Service actually have an office here, representative?
There is not a scout base here, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's sort of like a lot of podunk airports where they have to put on a veneer of having federal employees, like you have the TSA or whatever, but they're all locals.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
All right, she
So
gives you
I
your key cards to your access and security to your rooms, and she even because you have made her feel so good about herself and everything, and she's like taking pride in her job, she leaves and she escorts you to each of your rooms even. But everybody should subtract 20 credits, but you don't have to worry about food today or tomorrow.
I tip her an additional 10 credits.
Nice.
Thanks for all your help. Right before I close the door, ask her, is there any kind of nightlife here at all? A bar?
You're gonna try it again, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna try and talk to some people who, know stuff.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like
Really don't want to go to a city where the person's governorial title is dictator.
Yes, I got that too.
planetary dictator.
Yes.
Well, she says, just me and my friends, but we don't know. There's not nothing like that here. You can always hang out at the hotel bar, and there's this open space that's just untended, and some chairs that are just, I don't know, kind of long ago someone has moved the chair and it's never even been moved back, and they're just empty seating spaces and chairs in a bar with no one behind it. And she says, right. I'm also the bartender.
That tracks.
All right, if you've ever seen the movie Death to Smoochie, when he pulls out the cookie that doesn't look like a rocket, but he says it's a rocket, and he has that look on his face trying to smile and play it off like, oh my god, this is horrible. That's the look I have. And I'm like, thanks, and I close the door.
All right. The night passes. You wake up the next day, and you hear a ruckus as the train comes in, and a whole bunch of a mix of Vargr and humans start to unload from the train. They all have uniforms on and weapons. And they come through and they check the roads, and they come in the hotel and they start checking things. And she has a lazy, but in this case, attentive look on her face. Let's see.
The clerk?
The hotel. Let's see. She needs. She's becoming the most important person in the story right now, so we need a name for her. Her name's Mary.
Mary.
Yeah. All right. And she says, I'm sorry. Anyways, they come in. They're obviously inspecting things. And she sees you all, and she says, "Oh, hello. How was your night?"
Oh,
It was excellent.
is this normal?
Oh, yeah. I think I have some bad news.
What's that?
This is one of Dictator Masterston's inspections. So the government has contracted the train for the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So would you like another night then?
Yes,
I'm up for it
if
if
the train
anybody
will
else
take
is.
all day.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's another 20 credits.
Yeah.
She says, I apologize for the inconvenience. I can give you another meal voucher though.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, these kinds of things happen. You just gotta plan around them.
Yeah. I'll start working on your breakfast if you like.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
She starts setting out what is essentially, let me see what actually the food is.
Oh boy.
I think I have my food generator up.
Marcello looks across at the armed Vargr guards and he asks her, "Are these hotel inspectors?"
Oh no,
The dictator?
yeah, no. This is planetary security. They come by and they do inspections of areas every so often.
To make sure everything's up to snuff, right?
Yeah, we Dictator Masterston really cares a lot about security.
Mm.
Well, this far out, it's
Okay.
important. You know, a lot of unknowns out here.
Yeah.
Is-
She thinks for a moment. She realizes that might not be true, and she's like, "Oh." Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
I nudge Marcello. Yes.
Marcello.
And I kind of, quietly do not antagonize the Vargr with guns. Okay. Can we not do that? Let's
We'll
not
try
do
to. I will try to restrain myself. This time.
There seem to be a lot of armed Vargr on your planet.
It's about half and half, actually, but I'm sorry, you say that in character. I apologize. She says,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, the Vargr. That's right. Yeah, they work for. They have different jobs. The planet's actually about 80% Vargr. At least that was the last time we did a census. It was probably around when I was born.
Good grief, how old are you?
Speaking of census, how many people do live on this planet?
Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't seem very densely populated. At least not out here by the starport.
No, yeah, the settlements aren't very large. I don't know, probably, I know the cities probably have a couple thousand, 3,000, and we have several cities, so I guess maybe several thousand, 10,000, 20. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. You only landed here 100 years ago. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Our people, we were caught in actually refugees, and we landed here and settled the planet before the war. Not this last war, but the one before that.
I sort of look around and I look back at her and I say, I think your people have done very, very well for yourselves.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so she sets out some trays. They have the following in them. One is you've heard the phrase green eggs and ham, but what if it were green ham?
Oh no.
And it has a slightly glowy tint of greenness to it, but it has a kind of I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but the chunky beef in a stew that you can get, but it's
corned beef.
No, it's like beef, but it comes in like a
Ash.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, it's green, and but the sauce has a citrusy orange scent to it, and there are
promising.
bits of fruit floating in it, and then there's a big gritty pudding. It sort of looks like grits, but it has fish in it, and then there's a whole other thing of just fish. Seems like that's a staple here.
Fish.
Yeah, fish.
Okay.
It has a gamey, fishy smell to it. It's definitely aqua, life in food here.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any water.
There is.
Same.
Yeah, apparently there is water here. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a dusty planet, but it's not devoid of water.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I chow down.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid the ham though.
Stare at it for a minute and we're like, well,
To your ribs.
ain't worse in the Navy.
It
Yeah,
tastes
that's
exactly
true.
like what I described.
If
There you go.
there's clearly, it would be in poor taste to ask for a glass of whiskey to like chase this stuff, so I don't. But I sit there and shovel it in, wishing that I have
Right.
something.
She points
Something
to
to fill the
the
taste.
fish pudding, and she's like, "That fish pudding's just like how my mom makes it." She smiles big.
For all we know, it might have been her mom that did make it. Mercy.
Spoiler alert: she made it. She made everything. All right. Time passes, and there's really hardly anything to do here. However, let me see. Let me make sure. Okay, actually, I'll describe the area around you. You have a day here, as the soldiers do their inspection and they guard the train and take it over for the day, and they have chartered it. So it's so you have let's see here, the Starport Customs area and the Port Authority office. So the Starport Customs area actually does kind of look like a very small airport where you have the tiny apron space, and then like a little, like a dome area, except all these structures are just half underground, like bunker style. And then right on the other side of that is the Port Authority office. The Port Authority office there is a street here, and it's a dirty, dusty street, and it goes from the largest building, which is the Starport Customs, straight across for 500 meters, and you go straight into the train station. So it goes straight there. And the first building on the left at the main intersection is the Port Authority / hair salon / travel agent / aircraft repair center. And there's crisscrossing roads, and there's housing here on either side of the main road leading to the railway station, which you see some Vargar sometimes coming outside to do stuff, and they're wearing masks, ventilators, things like that, respirators is the word I'm looking for. And most of the people you see in the buildings outside are Vargar that are about doing things. And then there's an industrial estate here as well, and you see a bunch of fuel silos and the actual starport landing pads. That is all that's here. There's absolutely nothing here, and the whole place is about 1 mile by 2 miles.
And there's no way to access the the World Communications Network, or
if you ask her that, she would suggest that you probably need to go to Center Lake City, which is the capital, to do that.
and that's the only way to get there is on the train.
They do have a air raft repair place, but air rafts are pretty expensive. But you could also purchase a used car, a space car, basically.
Right.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
You want to do that?
Yeah, we can pour money if necessary. How expensive is expensive?
I don't know. Let me look.
Well, you know what? We have all day. Let's go see to the used car place and see what they got on hand.
I asked her if there's any general store that has respirators.
They do not have. They do have I would call them convenience stores and dime stores, but they don't have a general store. They don't have a department or general or anything that would have sundries. Looks like people have to get them either shipped in from their cargo of Offworld, if it's something specialized, or they go into town.
Right. Okay.
As far as the cars, do you all go over to the Port Authority / Air Raft Repair Center?
I'd like to.
We do indeed.
All right.
Absolutely.
You go over there and let me see. Do one more roll. Okay, you come in, and there is an old man here, sitting behind a desk, and also snoring loudly.
Oh boy.
Soundly asleep. And it looks like a shade tree mechanic type place with air rafts, many of them being garage queens. They've probably not moved in 20 years. Some of them have.
Do
been
they have
stripped.
the prices soaped onto the side?
Yeah,
or...
unfortunately, no, you don't see that. It looks like just a really ramshackle garage. There's even 3 air rafts that are just stacked on top of each other, clearly rusted over and haven't been looked at or used in a long time. And then just pieces of air rafts just splayed out in places. You do see in the back part of a garage, a gleaming red air raft. And then you can see that there are 2 bays. One air raft is has been lifted up by a grav plate, and no one's working on it right now. And then there's another one that has not been lifted up on the grav plate and is secured to the ground. Anyways. What do you do?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
In a stage whisper, I say, I think we're going to have to be in pretty desperate straits if we're going to trust our lives to anything that we buy from this place. Look at this thing.
You want to rely on planetary dictator Masterton's public transport?
I don't know. I'm no mechanic. But I mean these look pretty. These look pretty sorry to me. I'm wondering if a ground car would be better than this. But I don't know. Maybe
you want to wait
it's
till we get to the capital and try to buy something there?
Well, I think there's something we have to remember. We don't know this planet, and so even if we do get transportation, we're going to have to find out last known location of the downed ship, right?
Yeah.
And where we are in respect to that.
Yep.
And how we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the odds are we will need some sort of private transportation, air raft, ground car to get to the ship. Once we locate it.
Despite what my character whispered, I'm perfectly fine with an air raft.
You make a good point about maps, though.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to. I mean, everybody here's asleep or slow or whatever, but this being the starport, this might be the best place to ask around to see if anybody has heard gossip about where that ship went down. It seems to be. I mean, at least the crew seems to be a little infamous, so it seems like everybody might know. The actual
Mary did mention it actually stayed in the spaceport, so maybe we could ask her if she knows how far they had traveled or where they came from, or if they mentioned something about where they left the ship. I don't know.
I have a sinking feeling the ship is impounded on this planet.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. We're going to have to pucker up or pay up to get it.
Oh.
All right. What do you all do? Shipley.
So, do we want to buy I think you made a really good point about the navigation. Do we want to get an air raft here and try to navigate away to the city, or do we want to go to the city on the train and then try to get an air raft there once we get a better, access to the public terminal and a better sense of, I guess, the planetary geography or topography, and maybe try and locate the ship? Because we can try and talk to some people here and locate the ship, aside from the air raft, even if regardless of what we decide regarding, buying an air raft right now.
Why don't we at least wake this guy up and see if he's anything for sale and what condition these things are in and how much they are.
It can't hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. We're already here. Do we want to tap on his shoulder or just knock something over and make a really loud clatter?
My opinion, for what it's worth, as boring as it is here, I think the train might turn out to be more reliable. But it doesn't hurt to ring the little bell and talk to the man.
At least give us
a little bell on the desk. I just go bing, 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 bing.
He bolts awake and stands up. He's like, "Oh yes, sir. I'm here. What? What?"
I step back behind the rest of the group right after I tap the bell.
I'll remember that.
Oh, you here for haircuts?
Oh boy. No, we wanted to look at see if you had any used air rafts available for sale.
I have a couple that have one that's being worked on right now for one of the Masterston family's cousins, but yeah, well, I only have one for sale. But where are you from? Why are you looking for an air raft?
Well, we're hoping to go to. We just arrived in the planet pretty recently. We're hoping to drive to Central Lake City.
Oh, don't want to take the train then?
Well, we were going to, but it's been commandeered lately, so we didn't want to get stuck here too long.
Well, to tell you the truth, I only have one for sale, but I don't think an off-worlder would see much use in it. Nor would you want it, I don't think. I wouldn't come down on it. It's an heirloom.
Does it run?
What about rental?
Oh, it runs. I wouldn't let anyone touch it unless they bought it. It's worth more than my whole shop.
Can you give us a number?
He gets up, slowly, kind of waddles slowly over to the garage and motions in, and you see what is basically this universe's version of a Corvette. It's a speeder. It's not an air raft. It was gleaming red, and it's a speeder with some aftermarket parts and kind of like been worked on over a long period of time. I'm thinking kind of like Cuba-esque. It's been sitting here for a long time and been very well taken care of because there's not much else to do. He says, I wouldn't let it go for less than 250,000 credits.
You don't say.
Well, it's one of the fastest speeders that you can find. They don't make them like this anymore. At least none that I've heard of.
I don't reckon they do. It looks like a very nice speeder.
And indeed it does, actually. It looks like a muscle car, but like sci-fi
Boy.
flies.
Did he say 500,000?
250,000.
250,000. Okay.
Don't bring it up.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. What was it?
Looks a little rich for my blood.
Yeah. I would even say that they've never made anything like this, considering some of the parts I'm looking at. Yeah, that's pretty. Did you do the work on this?
I did some of the metallurgy myself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to redo the frame a couple of times over the past few decades.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's a beauty. But like my partner said, that's a little rich for our blood.
I wouldn't even consider selling it. I didn't think you would buy it. It's just I could use the money. I'm still trying to make something of myself. I'm one of the children of the people that landed here more than a century ago, and we've served the Masterston family the whole time, and I feel like I've come to a dead end. Director of the Starport Authority, hairstylist, and air raft repair mechanic. Despite it all, I wish I could still do more.
I lean into, I guess, Shipley's captain today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're back far enough that he's not going to overhear, I whisper into your ear, he could come in handy if we need to fix the ship and it's worse than we think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So let's be nice.
Yeah, I don't think we can. I'm getting the feeling he doesn't really want to sell his baby.
No.
But he seems like he really needs help. If we offered him?
Well, we don't have anything to offer him yet.
Yeah.
We don't want to make false promises.
No, we would need to be able to like. I think if we were able to like offer him recompense for his work, he'd jump at the opportunity. Like, but like you said, we would need to be able to offer him some, fair pay.
Do you think that he would jump at the opportunity to
Get off of this shithole.
Well,
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
to be useful as our guide to the planet? He seems to know his way around here, and he's got. Did he say he was like his parents were something?
Parents were like the original refugees.
Yeah.
He's like first generation Walstonian.
He's got some knowledge. Maybe he could be our guide. That'll get him out of the office.
And he might decide to do some speeder for us.
Or do you guys want to ask him about the ship? Like if he knows where it landed or whatever?
I think every time we've mentioned the ship, we've gotten some awkward stares, truth to tell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so I didn't mention it. And as Mary mentioned, the last crew didn't really leave a good impression.
No. No.
Sir, how well do you know this world? What's your name, by the way?
The name is Ming. I know this world like the back of my hand. I know every canyon and mountain and hill and ocean. We didn't actually settle Walston as the settlements you see here now. We had to work. We migrated actually from elsewhere on the continent, but we found we needed to settle near bodies of water, especially the fishing, the deep sea fishing and micro submarines that we brought in for fishing operations were ultimately what saved the settlement. Now that's an old story.
Do you all mind if I do the talking?
Oh no, go for it.
So, did he say Ming, like Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon?
Ming as in a Ming vase?
Okay, yeah. Just making
Same
sure.
thing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Ming, is that your first name or your family name?
Oh, it's my first name.
Forgive me, I have a bit of breeding, so I wanted to call you Mr. But Ming, if we're on a first name basis, my name is Jason LaCour, if you care to know my family name. We've been sent here to reacquire a ship that belonged to the Explorers Authority. Seems the previous crew decided to make some trouble. Luckily, they've been incarcerated, but that doesn't get the administration its ship back.
Oh, you're talking about the high and dry.
Seems they were rather infamous. I don't
Yes.
suppose you know where the ship might be.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear, actually, that that crew was arrested. They slipped out of the fingers of the planetary authorities here on Walston several times. Why, I'm surprised they made it off-world without getting thrown into a dungeon here by the dictator. But
Well, they're in a dungeon somewhere else.
I can go. Well, I may not have the information here. Let me see. He uses a nearby computer just to see what he can do from Starport Authority. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. He's like, well, we could go over to the Starport Authority network system, and I could take a look at the berthing records and load manifests and passenger manifests to see when they came and went and things like that. If you think that would help.
Please do. We'd certainly be happy to compensate you for your time and trouble.
Oh, that's awfully kind. He slowly starts heading that way. It takes another, But hey, you're going to be here all day. So takes a while. He gets back to the... oh, no. what this thing is struggling with. Whoa. What does it think it's doing? Need my iPad up. Okay. Let me look at the map here again. Siri, go away.
Don't do anything but that.
Let's see. Starport Authority, Port Authority office. Okay, so it's part of the same building complex. So he just goes over, brings you through some buildings, brings you into another office of his. He slumps down into a chair, brings up a computer.
Also the Port Authority.
Yeah, he's the director of the Starport Authority.
Jesus Christ.
He's the Starport Authority director, hair salon,
Barber.
hairstylist, and
All right. Okay.
air raft mechanic, air raft repair center. Okay, so looking for it. He says, "Well, it looks like they actually came through here a couple of times in the past Imperial year. The last time they made it here was no, Siri, go away." Oh my gosh.
Is that your cat?
No, it's the iPad. I don't know why it thinks it needs to. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, he
Watched
says,
a lot of Witcher lately, so I thought you named your cat Siri from the books.
"Oh yeah."
Oh, with the C, yeah.
About halfway through season 2, I pretty well lost interest in that show. So let's see. Anyways, 3 months ago, they made it here, and well, they were. I do know they were absolute jerks. I heard from the young daughter of my friend. You know, she makes a really good fish pudding every year. He starts to trail off about the fish pudding for a while. And he starts coming back, and he's like, "Oh, anyways, they harassed her. They tore up the hotel, and they complained about the food the whole time, and the beds. They hated every building they came in, and I forgot to mention this, but everybody here wears kilts. Now, not Scottish kilts per se, right? But like the manner of dress, where it's like kind of a bottom dress. If that makes sense. Like you could get like kilts that aren't just a tartan, like it's not necessarily just Scottish, right? And he's like, and they made fun of every person they ran into about how we dressed. Well, anyways, they have their destination recorded in the logs here as in system. No other notes. Looks like the ship was on a charter from the world government of Masterton.
Oh boy.
I have here that a couple weeks after that, they came back to the starport in an air raft. Oh, that's that one. He points to the air raft. Oh, that's that one. Oh, it's ruined. They destroyed that air raft. Looks like they stole it. Anyway, somehow they managed to get on a ship bound for Kettlebolg, the Maverick Spacer. Made it off-world. But yeah, it looks like the High and Dry was on charter and on a job for the world government.
Would there be any record in the air raft as to where it originated before it came back?
Maybe like GPS or something like that?
Oh yeah, I suppose it would. Would you like to look at that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, follow me. And he gets up and slowly meanders back to the air raft repair center and takes a look at those records, and he's like, oh my, yes, they stole it. It didn't belong to them. And they nearly destroyed it on the way here. And, well, now it is actually pretty much destroyed, and it's been sitting here for months.
High and dry.
No, the air
Right.
raft. He points
Oh, the
to
air raft.
But does the database give us any indication where the high and dry ended up?
Oh. Well, it would have if they hadn't destroyed it.
The high and dry?
No, the air raft.
Or the air raft? Got
The
it.
ARF logs are damaged, is what you're saying.
Got it.
Who's on first?
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
To be clear, that planetary or government charter of the High and Dry, they took it. Did they take it? Was that charter for on-planet use, or did they take it off-planet?
They
Oh,
have to come back to the planet somehow, right? I mean, they could steal an
Somehow.
air raft once they landed, but
I'm sorry, but that's not shown here. It just says in system. That would mean that it had to be somewhere in the solar system of Walston. But
Right.
it could be on the planet.
Well, they would have had to land it on the planet. Well, if they
not
got
if
this,
they sold it to the Mastertons, or the Mastertons have it in their custody.
did they steal this air raft from you, or did they steal it somewhere else and bring it to you?
Oh, they stole it somewhere else, and then it was towed over to me.
Any
Interesting.
chance of repairing its systems to getting into the wrecker?
Out of character.
Sorry,
No, it's good. Do you have computer one?
I do.
You
No,
do.
I was about to say, I'm computer dumb, but I'm hoping that someone else isn't. And I was
Oh,
about to
boy.
say in character, I don't know how any of this works. I'm just hoping that you
Yeah,
do.
no, that's great. Yeah. If you have computer one, Marcelo, you could offer to do that to try to see if you can recover it. I will say it's difficult. You can do some really cool stuff with computer in this game. You can write your own programs and just come up with them. Just like Magic Research and original D&D, you can come up with whatever you want. I love it.
You do lots of cool
Fantastic.
stuff if you have any skills at all.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. As soon as I find out that there's database system somewhere in this air raft, I offer my services to maybe bring it online, maybe.
He says, I have the identification number. It was stolen from a family at, let's see, Central Lake. But that could mean anything. People register their air rafts in Central Lake. It was not the Masterston family. I'm sorry, I can't reveal their information, actually. But,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're going to return it to them, we need to know who they are. And I try to schmooze them a little bit.
Does anybody have mechanic one?
No, closest I got is engineering.
Dang it. That would have been a wild. Okay. He says, well, I don't know how you could get it to them. I've not been able to fix it, but anyways, it would help me out if you could recover information from the air raft's data system. If you could pull it out, but it looks fried to me. I couldn't do anything with it. Be my guest.
All right. Well, thank you. Show me where the air raft is, and I'll go back to some of the hard cases that we have and get some of the electronic tools out so that I can get the computer going.
That's a good idea. I'll give you a DM +1 for that, for using the electronic suite for the job. So he's like, all right, and then he raises up from his air raft repair center desk and slowly goes over, and there's a stack of air rafts that you saw on the way in, and he's like, everybody stand clear, and he activates a grav grav plating, so that it basically allows it to hover up just from the floor, and then it comes down and just like crashes down onto the ground sideways, mostly destroyed hunk. And he's like, in the driver panel to the right, that's where the data, either that or on that model, it's underneath the driver's panel. One of the two. But the whole thing was fried as far as I could tell.
Sure. All right. So, Marcello...
Tell me about this heirloom spear.
Wait,
And I
hold
just
on.
sort of like-
Go ahead, Marcello. And then
Marcello rolls up his sleeves and he gets some drivers out and opens up an access hatch and pulls out some of the computer part.
All right.
And hooks some leads to it and taps in some commands.
You have.
He's like,
oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is an avionics suite, or a what would you call it? Aeronautics and space suite. I don't know. So it's not meant for cars, but you could attempt to try to use it to gain some information and infer some things, which we'll look at in a second. Dave, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I just try to schmooze him and distract him over to his baby.
Oh yeah.
So that.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he'll go over and he'll talk to you about the
mostly so that Marcello can get the info, and then we'll decide what we want to let him know about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and the speeder is probably the fanciest thing on the planet you've seen so far, by a long shot. I
already got wheels turning about that thing.
All right. Meanwhile, back at Marcello, I'll say that you can infer some information, and it might be that you can. It's sort of like a diagnostic tool, so you can only oracle maybe D3 information in yes or no question form, just from this. But you could do some other things at 2d6, and you have to get a 9.
Okay.
I was thinking a 10. Some of the computer checks are actually very high, even if you have. And if you don't have computers, I just assume you can't do it at all.
Did you say I have a DM1? DM plus 1?
Yeah, so that lowered it from 10 to 9. So you got to get a 9.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So it'll be a tough one.
Turn around and tell everybody, hey, look, it runs Unix. I can work with this. And he rolls the dice.
I'll give you 1 if you. Oh wow, 9. There you go. Yeah, so I'll say D3 questions. All right, you can ask 2 questions, and I will answer honestly about where this car has been or anything at all about this car.
Oh boy.
Captain Shipley, I defer to you.
Oh. Okay. All right. So we were trying to locate where the Hydra is, right? And
Yes.
we're assuming that wherever the origin point, wherever this speeder came from, was pretty near the Hydra, where the Hydra's last known location.
Yes.
And we told the guy that we wanted to get this somehow back to the family. So do we want to get the owners' names?
No.
Like their name and location?
Just buttering him to make it.
Citizens.
Do what? Okay. Because I was thinking that might also... Well, I mean, that would... We could, yeah, okay. We could try to find the people, and then that would let us to the location. But I think the speeder's the location logs are probably definitely one of them. Like, where was the speeder's last trip? Where did it start? Where did it, I mean, I always said ended here, but where did it start?
Okay. So is the question, what is the planetary coordinate of?
So can I ask, can I get a time range on the logs, or is it just is the question really narrow? What's the last journey it took, or something like that?
I would say a single data point, I know I said yes or no, but I agree. I think it, but a single data point and not a range. So, where was the last place where it started its engine, for example? Or maybe the last place it started its engine was not anywhere near. Maybe they had already evaded for 2 days before they even found this car and stole it. But you can ask a single. Does that make sense? A single data point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So if we're not sure that. Oh no! Please go ahead.
Maybe the longest time it spent stationary after the time it was taken. Because that's probably where they hung out with the ship and grabbed everything they wanted to keep.
Okay. And then do we also want to ask about the identity of the people it was stolen from? Because if we can locate those people, assuming that they wouldn't have gone far to steal an air raft, so hopefully the ship will be near the location of the owners. And that way we don't have to worry about they started the engine after they stopped at a gas station, and when we ask when they last started the engine, we get a gas station in the middle of nowhere.
Good thinking. I did not consider that.
Okay, so it's the owners of the ship, and I guess where they are, if it gives us a name and location or whatever, or just a name, and the location where it last stopped for the longest period of time.
Okay. Obviously this is the most recent one, and then right before that, what was the longest time that it had stopped before that?
Right. We should actually ask Ming when it was brought in.
Yeah.
And work back from there.
And then check before that, yeah.
Okay, so when it came in is when you're asking? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Good question. But of note, he actually already has on the computer and already knows who it belongs to. He just didn't want to tell you. So if you wanted to take that information, he's out of the room. Marcelo can just literally go right over the computer and pull that right out. So you can.
Okay, well then yeah, we'll do that.
Let me.
If he's out of the room, I will follow him. I've got a few questions for him while they're doing this.
Okay, let me find out when this happened. So that's what I'm hearing is when did this thing happen? When did it come in?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that he would have that information too. He would know when the thing came in, if I'm understanding your question right. And off the top of my head, let's see, this would have been... Well, let's start with this, because I think we might be able to put a pin in that, but still give you the answer later. I think that's another question that Marcelo can just bring up, is when did this thing come in? What was the date? It would have been something like 2 months ago. And the owners... Marcelo, are you looking at this? Because if he catches you, he'll be mad, right? So, but is it something you want to do?
Do?
All right. Let's see.
I'm going to apply all of my schmoozing skills to keep him distracted as long as possible.
All right. The Bennett family. And they are, in fact, in, what is it? Central Lake City. On its outskirts. They have reclaimed the ownership, the title of the air raft, but it's been junked. So, like many things here on Walston, it remains just a thing that's never been resolved. And that while they know that it's here, they've never gotten it repaired and they've never claimed it back, but they've never changed the title to be able to just sell it as junk. And then just kind of sits there in a heap. But it's the Bennett family, and you have their address because you have all their PII.
Okay. Okay, so then we can get. So we want to get the last time the speeder was parked for an extended period of time before it arrived here 2 months ago. Right. I guess before its last journey. And then we still have one other question, but I guess we can talk about that if we get this. The location last time was parked.
Marcelo, you're able to find in your diagnostic tool, like using basically chronometers and stuff. Like you're able to use like there's a word for this. When the military uses math for intelligence. Help me out, Dave. Math intelligence. There's a word for it. It's a school of intelligence. I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, you're able to basically do that. You're able to use the chronometer and the different data from it to be able to infer this, even though you only have surface data. And you're like, oh, they stole it right from the Bennett family at their estate. So somehow they got there and then they stole it.
Okay, so last time it was parked was at the Bennett family house. Okay. So hopefully the ship is in running distance of... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just running distance of the house. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was parked on the street and then they hot-wired it and took it and then trashed it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good lead.
I do have a question for the I forget his name, Ming. As the Port Authority official, does he know anything about satellites that orbit the planet? Are there any such things?
Yeah, when you say satellite, you mean man-made, obviously, right? Like,
correct. Yes, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
geospatial stuff and things. Yeah, they have geospatial technology here. It's let me see here. It may be the question will be if it's actually still in use and useful or not.
So to answer your question, it's MASINT, which is measurement and signature intelligence.
Yes, exactly. Most underrated thing ever. Mind blowing. They'll take like a bird migration and they'll be like, "Oh, we know where everyone is now." What? It's crazy. Oh man, math. It's magic. It's sorcery. Let me see here. Tech level 8.
If they taught like that in high school.
What's that?
I said if they taught like that in high school, I feel like people would be more invested.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that would be a good... I agree, actually. I think that they use the government and be like, hey, look at this cool stuff. And then people would be into STEM. Anyways, speaking of STEM, tech level 8. So yes, they have geospatial technology. They have satellites and communication and stuff like that, yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that with these satellites, can we find the location of the ship through these satellites?
You might be able to if you had the like key, like the ability to access that information, which nothing in this room can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one more question we can get out of the ship. I'm sorry, the air raft. Is there anything that we want, now that we know where it was stolen from and that it wasn't taken to the ship's actual location at any point?
Yeah, you can query one more thing about the car. I have ideas. I won't say them, but I have ideas.
Oh. Okay.
What
Thanks
do we
for
know so
relaying that
far?
to us.
Actually, I'm over schmoozing, so I really can't offer up an opinion.
We already know where it was taken from.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get speed information, height information. I don't know. Could it have been ticketed?
I'll tell you one thing about this air raft. It was, in its heyday, a quality air raft, and like most here on the planet, convertible, but mostly covered. You know, so when I think of air rafts, I think of like those cars from the Fifth Element. Like they're like space cars.
Right.
Or like episode 2 of Star Wars and Coruscant or something. Anyways, so it was a good car and now it's ruined, but I don't know. So
They probably didn't wreck it for no reason. I mean, they might have, but maybe they put something in it that was too heavy.
Yeah, that's probably it. Can we see, like, okay, so is there a way to tell, like, what the load is? Like, was it carrying a lot of excess baggage aside from however many people the crew was?
do you want to query that via Marcelo?
Well,
what information could you get from that? Where could you go with that?
You could
It's just like
you could ask like what load was it under, how hot did the engines run, how fast did it run, was it stop and go? You know, you could ask any kind of massant.
Well,
We're doing massant.
is there a lot of damage to the underbody, like it was dragging?
Because if they stole something heavy from the ship, they really wouldn't be able to get far without a speeder. So I guess that would narrow down the range of how close to the house the speeder it has to be. If they were traveling light, then they might have been able to go, you know, quite some ways from the ship before they had to steal speeder. That's my rationale there. But if anyone else has a better idea, then yeah, go for it.
Well, you don't even have to query the ship to look at where the damage is. Is the damage on the bottom of it?
Yeah, we can. I mean, it's been rusting, but yeah, we can look and see, like, is there like bullet holes in the back tail lights or damage on the undercarriage and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's wrecked. Like it's been just destroyed and torn apart, and it does look like there's chunks of dirt and rock in it, and it just looks like they were awful to it. I do feel like I'm bearing the lead on something too here, and I think there's a chance your characters might notice something else, but I don't think it's something that would be obvious. So I'm going to do a rare roll, the modern style attribute roll. This would be 2d6 to roll under your intelligence. And
Okay.
everybody can do it. If anybody makes it, just let me know.
What's the number for rare?
No, I just it's under your whatever your intelligence attribute is. If it's
I made it.
meets it or
Like
below.
everybody.
Oh, I made a roll. I got a 6.
I'm still counting on my fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
So you passed. So Shipley, Marcelo passed. Right. Okay. Shipley and Marcelo, you notice after the car. So it's been the grav plate has lifted the car. You can see the car under it. The car under it is a stock steel gray. It has never been painted, and it has a extremely utilitarian design. It's really ugly for an air raft, and you realize from looking at it that it's a standard, typical, like shipboard air raft. So sometimes starships will have an air raft that you can use, and you can just
This is kind of strange. It looks like a ship air raft underneath, even though it looks super fancy on the top side.
No, I mean underneath a second
a second air raft.
Because there were three stacked up, and he took the one off the top and used the grav plate to separate it, and then underneath it, now you can see the second car down is one of these shipboard air rafts. Starship air rafts.
Holy moly.
Well, we might as well investigate that too.
Look at this. If I look around this second air raft, do I see any ship designations or anything on it?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a nice observation. You look around and you look for like a placarding, and indeed you find a placarding that is a Imperial Navy serial number.
Wow. Does it match up at all with the serial number for the Endry?
Probably
or
not, but the inference is correct. Like, this is probably the High and Dry's air raft.
Holy moly. Okay. Address the old owner
wrecked,
of the shop.
To be clear, it's just utterly wrecked.
It's wrecked, yeah. I addressed the owner of the shop, and I'm telling him, this, I think, is actually the air raft that we want to interrogate. Would you mind if he took this out or down?
That chunk of metal? God, it's so ugly. I don't even know someone brought it in here, and I just stacked it underneath. I used it as a mount, trying to get this family air raft up and running, but no hope there either. Anyways, go ahead, do anything you want with it. I'd be surprised
Tell
if
me
you
a little
find
bit
anything
about this
useful.
air raft. When did this come into your shop?
Oh, and you're talking about the High and Dry's air raft, right? He says,
That's right.
it came in, probably about just shy of two months ago, maybe a month ago now. A month ago, yeah, not long ago. Some junk they found out on the wastes, probably.
Okay, all right. Well, if you don't mind, if he doesn't mind, I'm going to take all of the instrumentation from the other car and apply it to this one. See if I can find the last known location of it.
All right. Make this one, all you have to do is a regular 2d6 to meet 8 roll. But you have computers 1, so let's make it a 7.
It's nothing.
Oof. All right. That being said, there are some things that you clearly know. Looking at the air raft, this thing has been wrecked by somebody, and you can guess who. And it looks like it was gutted, and parts of it were ripped out. It does look like it went through a really rough ride before it met its end.
Captain? Mason? Where do we go from here?
Grab a dirt sample from both.
Well, if we can't get any information out of the air raft computer, does he know who brought it in, or where it was when they found it?
Oh, the wrecker service brought it in. No, I don't really know. It doesn't have any records, local records. I didn't find any identification numbers. It looks like to me maybe this might have been here 200 or 300 years ago, and they had left it out on the way. Now, out of character, he doesn't know, right? So that's not me saying, he's like, they probably brought it in from the wastes. It may have been from pre-colony days or something.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay.
And Marcelo, he's wrong. And Chipley. This is the High and Dry's air raft. And he didn't know that.
Jackson, how are we going to find our way to the High and Dry? We've got the air raft right here.
I think at this point, we need to get to either Lake City or what was the other one? Central City?
Central Lake City, yeah.
Right. We need to get to the internet, the World Communication Center or whatever that is, and hopefully access maybe one of the satellites and locate it that way.
Okay.
I mean, using technology, trying to
absolutely,
figure out
absolutely.
what it is.
Absolutely.
Where it is.
I've given it my shot with this avionics suite, and didn't really get anywhere.
You can still ask one more question though, so you haven't actually asked it yet.
Okay.
That's you.
And this question is of the other air raft, though, not this air raft.
The Bennett family air raft, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Bennett family air raft, does that have anything to do with this other air raft? Wait a minute.
One got wrecked. They had to get another one.
I see.
Are there any dirt samples in both of them that look like they might match?
Why don't you check?
I don't think you have
We can find
If they took the ship air raft and crashed it, then they might have gone and stolen the Bennett family air raft and taken off with that. So
That must be.
we might be looking at 2 legs of their journey.
Maybe we need to just go to the family, the Bennett family compound.
Yeah.
Well, I think all they're
I think we
going to know
definitely
is
need to go to the
that one of the
Capitol.
rafts was stolen. Unless they actually had contact with the Bennetts in some way. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
again, Jackson? Say again, Jackson?
I was just thinking that if we go to the Bennetts and tell them that we have their, we found out where the raft went, I think the only thing they're going to really tell us is that, we had a raft stolen. Unless they actually interacted with the crew.
And they know it was stolen, by the way. That from talking to Okay. And they know where it is. They just this place is just that slow. They're like, I have a thing over in a shop over at the starport, and I will.
Probably have money and they just don't care, and they already got the insurance.
Right.
As
I really
you
can't think of
all
anything
are,
else. Yeah.
as you all are discussing this, I'm going to take the tools and unbolt the brains of this vehicle and pull out the module that contains the brains, so that we can put it in our hard case and bring it with us to Central Lake City. Or maybe there's a more powerful computer that we can use to interrogate it. Because if this thing is still in good condition, we'll know where it was, where its last location
This is
was.
from the ship's air raft?
Ship's air raft. Right.
Okay.
And we still
The
have
black
one
box
question
right
we can ask.
I looked in the glove compartment of both speeders.
Yeah.
Check under the seats too while I'm at it.
So, the one in the ship's air raft is has a bunch of junk in it. Like, no one bothered to clean it out forever. Like, it's got like napkins and, you know, fast food bags and receipts, piles of stuff, you know, and yeah. But other than that, everything's been gutted and ripped out. Like, anything useful from the air raft looks like it's intentionally been ripped out from the air raft.
Anything incriminating.
But not so on the Bennett family air raft, where it was not gutted and ripped out. Everything, the container, the glove box, if you will, of the Bennett air raft has. When you look inside of it, you can see. Excuse me. So nothing of value is left in the air raft, but you can tell that the glove box was damaged, as if something was shoved into it and something was shoved up against it.
They piled this thing with a bunch of stuff that was important. Is there anything under the seats?
Everything has been taken out. When you look under the seats, the floor is scuffed up. It looks like heavy metal cases or something metal or heavy may have been loaded into the floor. Because this is like a family car. It's not meant to load a bunch of stuff, but it's like they used it as a pickup truck and then rode the pickup truck over hills and tore it to pieces and did wheelies in it.
All right.
Man would know this. Was the crew did all this stuff? I may have told me and I forgot, but were they apprehended?
Yeah, you know that they were arrested, actually. You know that when you took the job, you found out that the crew of the High and Dry were arrested somewhere in another solar system far off somewhere else.
Okay. Do we have any idea what they were arrested for? Were they convicted of theft? Or was it just like mayhem or
mayhem, theft, endangerment, destruction of government property, lying on government forms, and you know, I don't know, basically everything short of like murdering people and just basically just generally being hooligans.
They you know, this possible heavy thing that was in the air raft that they took, was it something that they stole from ship, the High and Dry? Was there...
I don't think so. There's a bigger mystery here.
Yeah.
They definitely took something.
Took something.
I think it's significant that the last mission they were on was an in-system mission for this planetary dictator.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Let's not forget that. Masterson. Huh.
I'm not really anxious to meet this Mr. Masterson yet. So,
All right. And one more question, or do you guys want ready to head
I
out?
don't have another question.
Yeah. Okay.
One more question.
For the car, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think I'll maybe we'll ask the question that you were considering, Shipley, which was, what was maximum weight? You know, what was the maximum weight being carried by the air raft? You know.
Yeah.
This last
So here's some. I love it, Massent. The engines have vibration detectors, and by combining the information for the speed of the air raft with its engine RPM and power output, with engine vibrations, you get a sense of its work output versus how much, actual true speed it was able to accomplish. And it was not able to accomplish much because it was loaded down all to hell with all kinds of crap, and it's not a pickup truck. So you're able to determine that they had crammed this thing full of heavy stuff on the way out.
Okay.
I'm not going to bury the lead on that because I think you might be able to kind of infer this. This is not some grand heist or something. They just tore everything out of the ship and took everything valuable that they could. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. I hope that, and I look back at our hard cases. I hope that what we're carrying here will be able to resuscitate the ship. It seems like they just tore it all to hell. Jesus.
Yep.
Well,
Right.
I guess we need to go to the main city and hope that these guys weren't involved in something that the governor's going to want to keep hush-hush and just shoot us to shut us up.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, that'd be optimal.
Did you say shoot us?
He had mentioned a dungeon, remember?
If it was really dirty and something that they want to keep quiet, we wouldn't be the first people the governor has shot to keep quiet.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with going to somebody who we know may shoot us.
Well, I almost got shot over a poker game, so you never know.
Yeah, you told me about that. Okay, let's go to town.
I wasn't even cheating that time.
he says, he says, well, it's so good to meet you. Thanks for letting me spend some time talking about my old gal. Pats his speeder that he's so proud of. And, well, thanks for listening to my worries and everything. And did you find anything on the data computer for the air raft?
Well, we did find out where they stole it from. Location of the it was the Bennett family, and that's a good lead for us. What I'm not gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, do me a favor and don't tell anybody. I wasn't supposed to give out any of their private information. I hadn't thought that would come up.
The word.
Oh, I appreciate that very much.
Not at all.
Well, all
what
right.
I don't tell him is that I have the memory module from the other airship.
You didn't just tell him that, did you?
I'm telling you that that's what I did not tell him.
Yeah, he may not like the idea that we actually took that. To tell you the truth.
He says
exactly.
If you excuse me now, I have a hair appointment for somebody that I need to meet here this afternoon, actually.
Very much, sir.
Before you
Very
go,
helpful.
how does everyone get on with the Vargar here? Are there any tensions between the humans and the Vargar, or you all get along?
Oh no, we get along just fine. That's strange to think about. Yes, we're quite happy together.
Well, I'd only known one Vargar before. It was during a military campaign. And
Two Vargar.
He leans.
Two snipers.
Don't correct me.
He says, if you ask me, I think the Vargar are just fine. That's my opinion.
Do I get the impression that other people don't think that they're just fine?
No. But no, I mean, I don't know. You tell me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I were to ask
They're kinda
somebody else?
smelly, but they're okay.
All right. All right. So he goes off to his hair appointment. Where do you all go? Back to the hotel?
So
Back to the hotel. One question: while we were there, did we see that he had ground cars available for sale as well, or was it all air rafts?
So it wasn't actually a car lot. It was a air raft repair center. So it's a garage. It's a junk garage. So yeah, he didn't actually have something like with a price tag for sales, so to speak.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Captain, are we going back to the hotel?
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. I think we can try to go to the Central Lake City in the morning and get tapped into the internet and all that stuff.
Assuming that they haven't commandeered the train still.
Yeah, assuming the train is available.
So you return to the hotel, spend the night. The faint mold smell does not intrude into your room, which is very comfortable and clean. And you can tell that Mary has worked to clean your room while you were gone. And so you have it's a comfortable night, and then you wake up in the morning, come down to the lobby, and Mary has prepared a breakfast again. And there is a spacer crew here, a group of travelers.
Oh.
And they have a kind of dour disposition to them. One in particular keeps rubbing his head, sitting with two others, and they seem to be consoling him. And they're eating the fish pudding. And the great news is that the Central Lake City train, which runs irregularly, only once per day, is running today. And
All right.
you can get a ticket for, let's see here. Oh, also everybody needs to pay 10 credits to store your guns if anybody has guns or armor or gear that they want stored.
That's in the Port Authority lockers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gun and armor.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. I think you'll probably need.
10?
Yeah, 10 credits. Yeah. I think you'll probably need. You can probably keep your armor. Actually, you could probably get by with that, keeping your armor, your cloth armor. Excuse me. I'm looking here. Okay. I think it's probably another 10 credits to take the train. Do you all want to do anything before you leave?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well, unless anyone else has something to do.
Does the guy who was rubbing his head look like somebody smacked him over the head with like a stick or something?
His facial expression looks like that, but he has like a really crappy buzz cut.
It's the hairstyle.
What's that?
I think we just got a sample of the hairstyle. It's work.
Did we want to chat with the spacer crew?
Yeah, sure. What did you want to ask?
I just want to start a conversation with them if they're not being too antisocial, and just ask them for where they came from and what they know about this system. This may not be their first time through here.
Good idea.
Any news? Any warnings?
Do you have a? Do you want to talk to the person who's complaining about their haircut, or the person that looks pretty clearly in charge of the crew, or the other, like another random gaggle of looks like line crewmen? You want to sit with like the line crew, or you want to talk to the captain and the first mate, or you want to talk to the guy with the bad haircut?
How many of them are there?
There are 8 travelers here.
Who's this guy with the bad haircut? Is he the guy who was kind of like people were consoling him? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
there are 2 other people sitting in the kind of pull out the basic cafeteria style chairs at the table.
Sure. I don't know. I think I'd be more comfortable talking to the line crew.
All right. Yeah, you sit down with the line crew, and they're one of them who's older is like, "Oh, wow, very nice to meet you. Another traveler, clearly. I mean, why else would you be on Walston? Let's be honest."
That's right. This place is a little bit slow, shall we say.
It's a little bit slow. I don't mind it though myself. I kind of like the people here. Have you tried the fish pudding? He seems enthusiastic about it.
Fish pudding is 100% better than it actually looks, and I don't mind it at all. But I cannot agree with you about this place being all right. I mean, I think it is so boring. I could sort of feel my brain like dripping out of my ear. I am so bored here, and I've only been here for 2 nights.
He says, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." And then one of the other crewmen just like pours out some of the stuff from his spoon. He's like, "You're right." And here we are stuck here without a ship. Miserable.
What's your situation?
Well, our ship came in, and they had some sort of opportunity to take out some more cargo or use the low berth space, and then some stuff got rearranged into our crew quarters. So the ship owner of the Free Trader and just like a pilot and navigator and one other person took the ship out. So we're stuck here for weeks until they can make it back from their run.
Okay. Is this part of your regular run?
Yeah, we come through here every couple of months or so. This person says, let me see, this is a 436. Another older person, and has this kind of sour attitude about things. He says, "Yeah, I signed on with this crew not long ago. I'm pretty. I was looking for work. The name's Harwood, and we've been working out here in the Bowman Arm. You must know how that is. I mean, why else would you be out here?" And
yes, but this is our first run through this place. Is there anything you tell us about this planet?
Oh, well, yeah. Here you go. And he waves outside the window to like what you see here on the screen with the dust and the, and stuff buried half underground. He says, planet's mostly Vargar. They treat them like crap. No one seems to care. And you're right about it being slow. Not much going on here.
Well, that answers that question.
If you try to do business here, you can see why Imperial Megacorps never come in this place. One of these days, if you ask me, they're going to go out to the belt and they're going to ignore this planet and they're going to make a starport out there.
Right. Our business is going to take us into Central Lake City. We may even have to deal with the administration here. which I believe is called the Dictator. I don't know if that's just a title or if he really is a dictator. Should we be worried?
Oh, I don't know. These people seem pretty harmless to me.
All right.
Have you ever been into the major city?
I haven't, but Dixon, you've went in there, right? And Dixon's kind of like a stringy, ectomorphic, kind of nervous-looking guy. He's like, yeah, I've been in there. I don't know. Yeah, they seem fine to me. I don't know why you'd want to go into Central Lake City, though. There's not much going on there either.
Yeah.
Administrative problems.
Oh,
Or,
yeah. No, it's
say
true.
Complication.
Yeah, he nods. He's like, yeah.
And all that shit.
Yeah, if you have any kind of problems with Walston, you can't solve it here at the starport. You got to take the train into town, and you got to talk to the government, world government. Good luck with that.
Okay.
You'll be there a while.
That's
Is
what I
there-
was afraid of.
Is there anyone there that is good at facilitating? Fixer type?
Well, if you ask me, I think the key is probably meeting one of the people from the Masterton family. Try to find one of those people and get on their good side, and if anybody can get anything done and cut through all the malaise of this place, it'd probably be someone from the Masterton family.
Okay.
But on the other hand, slow as they are, I think they seem pretty well-meaning to me. You can always start by going up to that front desk of that government center. It's a start.
Boy.
Place sounds like a hereditary, sort of a hereditary dictatorship type of thing, and the sounds of it, Masterton's laws and family and whatever, they're installed in all parts of the government. I mean, you know, we have this guy running a garage over here. Who isn't he related to the Mastertons somehow?
His family served the Mastertons when they landed here.
Okay, I see.
And he's been doing it ever since, like trying to get in their goodwill and move up.
Doesn't seem like social mobility is a big feature in this society. Okay, maybe we should just get going into town.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
All right, you take the
The sooner
train.
we start bureaucracy, the better.
What'd you say?
I said the sooner we get all this bureaucracy started, the better it will be for us.
Let me see if I have a map of it. I do not. It's just going to be this Walston image here. You take the train and you, let's see, it runs once a day. It's a short, small electric locomotive with just 2 carriages. The front carriage is empty and no one else is riding on it today. And you all are able to occupy one of the carriages. There's nobody here to serve you or anything like that. You have a single... There are 17, you can see, mostly Vargar working the railroad, but also doing other things. Like, this is not all they do. Because it only matters when the rail comes in, or if there's maintenance to do, etc. And anyways, there's one person who attends the actual 2 rail carts of the train. And...
Human or burger?
The attendant is a human. Let's see, human. 3, 6, 8. A human woman with a very bored expression. A distant look in her eyes, like she's very distracted. and not very interested to simply be babysitting a train. She doesn't speak to you unless you speak to her. And it is not a very long ride. Once you're able to actually get on the train moves pretty fast, and you're able to make it into Central Lake City, where you can see a massive lake, almost like a small sea, or a large, like a Great Lake. And the rail station you can see as you come into it, and it slows down. There's a perpendicular rail station that comes in from somewhere else, and then these two cars will continue on as well. There's a cluster of buildings here, and you can see all the way down the road, at the end of the road, which is about a mile and a half. All the way at the end is some coastal fisheries with little things bobbing up and down, which are perhaps those mini subs. And you can see a bunch of buildings. There's down the main street is a large, imposing and like nice building. It looks like an actual, for reals, science fiction future government compound.
Cool.
But only two floors though. All right.
Everything
And
here
it's probably
is
got
really
an underground
modest.
area, though, right?
What'd you say, Tiffany?
There's probably underground levels to it as well, though.
Yeah, they're all these structures. You can tell that they're partially bunkered.
A question about the architecture is the reason why everything is half buried or more is because of some kind of atmospheric stuff going on, or some kind of radiation, or what?
It's the atmosphere and the temperature. It's freezing cold, and the temperature and the atmosphere is not really breathable. I mean, you would start becoming hypoxic over an hour or two, and take in contaminants if you tried to breathe. So everybody in the air, they use breathers, or they're something.
Okay.
All right, what do you all do? Step off the train. You can see that there are some farms outside the town as well. Plenty of residential areas that are kind of junky and half buried, like you can see on the screen now. And then there's obviously a row of administrative type buildings. And there is also a factory, actually. You can see its stacks as it's producing something.
Is there any kind of tourist information center?
Or the general planetary internet terminal that we were looking for.
You do see a sign that says Walston Welcome Center.
Okay.
I go there.
All right.
Right.
You all
Or I indicate we might want to go
Yeah,
there.
that sounds like a good place to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play tourist. And we'll go there.
Well, that's what they designated us as. I
They
don't know.
did.
You walk for about 20 minutes down the street. There are Vargar out here, and you're probably in your vac suit, which once you get inside probably has to replenish its O2. So I won't talk about it right now, but you have limited O2. It's like 3 hours or something like that. But you walk down the street, and you come up to where it says the Welcome Center is, and you see a flurry of vertical placarded signs. Walston Welcome Center, the World Government of Walston, Palace, the Ministry of Off-World Affairs, Public Relations, Ministry of Fisheries. These are all on the same building.
Probably the same person.
I'm laughing. Okay, you guys, what did we want to do here? What do we need to do here?
There's a number of things that I think we might want to find out. So I'm actually interested in whether or not they're even terraforming this planet. But that's just a curiosity of mine.
That's an easy answer, no. That one's very clear to your character, and yeah.
Okay. A map of the planet might be good to find out. Is that a phone? Now I can't remember what I wanted to query this place for. But yeah, a map of the city, a map of the planet. I got an answer to that question already.
Well,
We wanted to find out if they did. We want to find out whether they knew where the ship, last known location of the ship.
Yes.
They said, I was going to say that they said that they were incarcerated a couple of times and they escaped planetary forces. At any one of those times, did the planetary forces determine where the ship was?
You don't know that. You'd have to ask somebody or try to find that out. But big, broad questions here, real quick, of where are we going? Like big, broadly.
Sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. As a group, so factory, residential area, the commercial area, so some shops, the palace, which is this, amalgam of administrative stuff, or the estate of the Bennett family, where would you all like to go? Or the docks, actually. The docks are also here.
I think we should get backup rebreathers.
Yeah, so the commercial area.
I'm sorry, where'd you want to go of those 5 places?
I
The
You want to go
commercial area.
purchase. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah, no
to get
problem.
backup rebreathers.
All right, so you start heading towards shops, and you can see that there's only a couple of them. And that's where we'll end the adventure tonight. We'll talk about that next time.